कुमार स्वामी नायक गोंगो लिबू लटोका रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
Good evening, Fiji. In this bulletin, government outlines COVID-19 priority. Police officers reminded about their duty. And trial of former diplomat starts in Suva court.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
The government's main priority is to ensure that Fiji remains safe from COVID-19. Speaking in Lambasa, Minister for Economy Whiteside noted the government implemented strong measures to contain the community transmitted cases early in the year. Ritika Pratap reports.
The Minister for Economy highlights that while the measures are still in place to contain COVID-19, the government has implemented a number of incentives for the private sector.
If you look at the budget is a number of incentives for people to get in the construction sector, or people to subdivision of land. Any profits they make from the subdivision of land, they don't pay any taxes anymore. There's a number of those kind of aspects of somebody builds a warehouse or a factory, we give them tax rebates because construction is critically important.
Syed Kayum says the Blue Lane initiative has also helped generate revenue. He adds those yachts coming under this initiative are subject to strict quarantine.
So assuming if I leave Auckland Harbour, and it takes me 7 days to get to Denrau and nobody gets on and gets off, that 7 days serves as my quarantine period. Then I've got another 7 days which I'll then come and spend in the Wailoloa Bay area. Then at the end of the 14 days, you do your test. If you're negative, you come on shore, you stay in a hotel, you drink our beer, you eat our food, you go to the market, you buy handicraft, whatever it is. So that obviously brings in new money.
Businesses that are dependent entirely on the yachting industry, we've seen a lot of them come back with positive responses. Some have employed additional teams or staff to keep up with the extra work that's there. So it's been positive. It's actually, a lot of them have said if it wasn't for the blue lanes, they may have not been able to survive these few months.
In an effort to generate economic activity and create employment, the government has been assisting small and micro enterprises as well and has also provided concessional loans to some upcoming businesses. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
Police officers should not abuse the power of their uniforms. This comes after the Human Rights and Anti-Discrimination Commission received an official complaint from the 4 men who claimed they were wrongfully detained by police for breaching curfew. Kelly Vathala reports the commission has now launched an investigation as the case highlights the importance of fundamental rights and freedom under the Fijian Constitution.
Calling out police for their actions in the alleged detainment of these men last Friday night, the Human Rights Commission says things could have been handled better.
Why would you amplify that level of anxiety and distress by doing this? Now I'm just wondering, when they were taken in for 18 hours, did they have the right to contact their family members? Did they have the right to, consult a lawyer to say that, look, I'm in trouble with the law?
Ashwin Raj says the men had approached police for help, but unfortunately they were falsely accused of breaching curfew and locked up.
It seems like these people are trying to do the right thing, to approach the police to say, look, we might just get in conflict with the law because it's almost 11 p.m. and we've been calling and we've been advised to come and report to the nearest police station. Your uniform doesn't give you the license to behave as if you own people.
2 of the men claimed that the behavior of officers at the Totonga police station was unacceptable.
It was before 11 and the sergeant, he was very rude.
But the way they talk, I don't like it. So, like they treat like a dog to us.
The Human Rights Commission says the actions of some police officers paint a bad picture of the force. The Police Internal Affairs Department is now investigating after the acting commissioner ordered that a full report be submitted to him. Kelly Vathala, FBC News.
Former senior diplomat Saul Amara's trial started in the Suva Magistrates Court this morning. For this matter, Amara is charged with 1 count each of disobedience of lawful order and giving false or misleading information. Pranita Prakash with the details.
The first prosecution witness, FICAC investigator Ali Ferretti Wakanivesi, testified they started investigating after receiving allegations of abuse of funds at the Fijian embassy in the United States. Wakanivesi says a search warrant was executed at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs because Mara had used his official and personal email accounts for official correspondence. FICAC also obtained some payment vouchers allegedly approved by Mara during his tenure at the embassy in Washington, D.C. Wakanivesi testified that in one particular voucher, Mara allegedly approved further payments despite his official trip being fully funded and his per diem was wrongly calculated. The second prosecution witness, Moses Matane-Singa, who led the investigation, said during that search at Mara's residence, they asked for the password to his personal email account. He said upon liaising with his lawyer, Mara refused to tell them his password. Matane-Singa said Mara kept refusing, following which he told them he was under arrest for disobeying lawful order. The defense lawyer then asked Matane-Singa which lawful order had Mara disobeyed and whether the search warrant authorized the investigators to question Mara. While avoiding the questions a couple of times, Matane-Singa said the power was vested to them through the search warrant. FICAC had conducted 2 searches at Mara's residence and both in the evening. The trial continues tomorrow. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
The Social Democratic Liberal Party seems to be facing delays in the selection process for party leader and deputy leader. If BC News understands, the selection panel has not yet been confirmed, with the annual general meeting scheduled for November 28th. The panel was to shortlist candidates for the 2 positions and make recommendations to the AGM next month. If BC News also understands that none of the candidates has been called up for interviews as yet. Up ahead, former governor amongst medal recipients. And fight against cancer gains momentum.
मैं टोटली दिल्ली में रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ.
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन.
Former Reserve Bank Governor Barry Whiteside was amongst the 31 recipients who were bestowed the Fiji 50th Anniversary Commemorative Medal today. Whiteside began as an economic research officer and worked at the Reserve Bank for 40 years. Sanyani Boyla has his story.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Barry Whiteside.
Whiteside says he was honored to be recognized by the state for his efforts in the development of the economy in previous years.
Humbling experience, but thankful that you are recognized. But I also recognize that there are many Fijians out there who've been the backbone of our economy. Our farmers who've been working cane fields for 50 years and so. Our fishermen, our tourism workers who are struggling at this time.
Bollywood singer and director of the Sai Prema Foundation, Sumit Tapu, was also recognized for his work.
As a foundation, we're doing the best we can to serve our people and make a difference in the lives of the underprivileged and needy. And I'm honored to be the director of the foundation. I'm deeply honored, very humbled to be receiving this medal.
Another recipient, former athlete Albert Miller, says he was recognized for his work at the international and regional level, and receiving the medal from the government is an honor.
And I think the ultimate recognition is from your own government. Makes you appreciate all the sacrifices you've gone through over the years. Because sometimes you've questioned yourself if it's really worth it. You know, because amateurs.
Other recipients include Methodist Church President Reverend Atu Wulono, Patrick Bowa, Dr. Vereniki Raiwalui, and former Fiji National University Chancellor Iqbal Janif, to name a few. The Fiji 50th Anniversary Commemorative Medal Investiture Ceremony continues tomorrow. Sainia Nimboila, FBC News.
Late presentation for breast cancer continues to be an issue for medical professionals. Fiji recorded more than 150 breast cancer cases from January 2019 to last month alone. Colonial War Memorial Hospital General Surgeon Dr. Ilaitian de la Sao says late presentation is the biggest challenge they face. Dr. Ndelasau says Fiji has the resources to treat the cancer only with early detection. He says there have been awareness campaigns every year, but most patients fear of visiting their health centres when a lump is noticed. He adds late-stage cancer can be treated, but sometimes is beyond their control.
Surgery can still be done. It still can be done, but it's not a cure. So we can remove the bulk of the cancer, but the difficulty is here. The cancer has already gone out of the breast, and it's into the muscle, sometimes into the bones and into the lymph nodes. So we can still do surgery, but the sad thing is that even with that surgery, it doesn't change the prognosis or the outlook of the lady.
And the Radisson Blu Resort has hailed its Pinktober fashion show a success as they continue to raise money to help the Fiji Cancer Society battle the killer disease. With the assistance of designer and fashionista Samson Lee, at least 100 people were at the property to show their support. Felipe Naikaso was also there and files this report.
It wasn't only a night of extravaganza, but a show of support for Fijians who are battling with cancer, and also to advocate on early detection.
Fashion brings people together, food, drinks, culture brings people together, so we are trying to bring everything around so that people can enjoy and participate and be aware.
The message being put across to those present was that early checkups is a must.
It's not only the breast cancer. We support underlying cases in Fiji. We support the breast cancer, we support the kidney failures, we support diabetes, and we create awareness about it.
The Fiji Cancer Society say the funds raised will go a long way in helping patients.
Don't ever think it's silly if you don't know what is normal for you or not. A few minutes of embarrassing conversation with your doctor could mean the difference between spending a lifetime with your family or being a memory to them. We cannot emphasize it enough. Most cancers are treatable if found at an early stage.
The total amount of money raised from the show will be revealed later this week, as Radisson has a few more Pinktober events. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
And with the clock running down ahead of the November 3rd elections, President Donald Trump is storming his way through a number of states. This is in a late push to make up ground against his Democratic rival Joe Biden, who leads in national opinion polls. And Whitney joins you now with the latest in business.
Thanks, Jackie. Coming up in business tonight, Singadaka market vendors see change in business. And in growing Fiji, Suva's central streets get uplift. Stay with us.
Pula nadang go apros lang kerse, go erkraki. Do televizyon na varong na Radio Fiji 1 nandomo ibiti.
Radio Fiji 1 nandomo ibiti.
Singadaka market vendors have noted an increasing demand for their agricultural produce in recent weeks, thanks to various economic recovery measures initiated by the Fijian government. Market Vendors Association representative Merit Tambunga Sao says the coronavirus pandemic has drastically impacted their business, with minimal profits earned by sustenance. Josiah Nanunga was in Singadaka and files this story.
This is a new scenario at the Singadaka market area, as vendors occupy most of the space to sell their produce, as business is heading in the right direction. Meret Tambungasau says the Love Our Local campaign has brought some sign of relief to them and the commercial farmers in Singadaka.
I normally sell pawpaws and cassava daily. During the lockdown period, we hardly make profits. Our main customers are hotel workers who were affected by the pandemic, but some hotels are operating again, and we can see they're coming to buy these products every day, and business is picking up again.
Nawamangi villager Lavinia Bunaki claims the effects of the pandemic affecting the agricultural supply chain is severe compared to natural hazards.
The lockdown period was the first time for me to experience a loss in over 10 years of being in the business. But we're thankful that the demand is picking up again, and now I can earn over $150 a week.
72-year-old Dengiana Kuriduba believes the agriculture sector is critical in these times of uncertainty.
I normally sell cassava, fruits and vegetables from our farm. Even at 70, I still have the passion of engaging in commercial farming practices, as it has assisted us in so many ways, especially in this difficult time.
The Agriculture Ministry earlier confirmed that the export of agricultural products this year has increased compared to last year despite the coronavirus pandemic. Chosai Yananunga, FBC News.
Airbus has told its suppliers to be ready for a jump in the production of its best-selling A320 jets. The company anticipates this will happen as soon as demand recovers. We now join Sharon from HFC Bank with the latest from the money market.
Our local South Pacific Stock Exchange last week recorded 20 transactions with around 62,000 shares traded, valued at over $60,000. 4 listed stocks recorded share price changes, with 3 recording lower prices. The market value last week noted a decline of 0.57% and concluded the week at $3.40 billion. Meanwhile, Asian shares got off to a subdued start as surging coronavirus cases in Europe and the US threatened the global outlook. Also, a lack of progress towards a US stimulus package put traders in a cautious mood, although hopes for a Brexit trade deal held the pound sterling steady. The week ahead is packed with monetary policy decisions, with 3 major central banks set to hold meetings. The Bank of Canada and the Bank of Japan are expected to hold fire for now, but the market assumes European Central Bank will sound cautious on inflation and growth, even if they skip a further easing. We'll have to wait and see how these set the tone for the market, but for now, that's all from your HFC Bank. Vinaka.
Here today's local exchange rates as set early this morning. The Fiji dollar was pegged higher against the Chinese yuan, the US greenback and the PNG kina, but showed a decline versus the Aussie and Kiwi dollars, as well as the euro and the yen. Prices were falling on the commodities market. Oil dropped just over $39 a barrel. Gold was down about $10 at $1,898 per ounce, and silver closed lower at $24.31 per ounce. Turning to growing Fiji tonight, the parking lane on Pratt Street in Suva is currently closed, so the Fiji Roads Authority can carry out sealing works in the area. During this time, no vehicles will be allowed to enter Pratt Street through Renwick Road. All road users traveling to work or school drop-off and pick-up will need to come through Selborne Street or Hercules Street. Sealing on Hercules Street and Selborne Street has also commenced. And that's it from Business Tonight. We now join Jamie with the latest in sports.
Naka Whitney, and good evening in Sports Tonight. Vunivalu ignites Mbanga Sao community. And no show from senior Nasinu footballers. This and more coming up.
FM number 2 NSR.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.
It was a fairy tale ending to Suliasi Vunivalu's rugby league career with the Melbourne Storm after winning the NRL Premiership last night with a 26-20 victory over the Penrith Panthers.
The celebrations continued into the night after the final whistle.
Thank you, Sumi. We are now celebrating your win with the Storm. Go, Storm, go. Thank you, since it's your last game.
However, the reaction was different at the home of Penrith Panther William Kikau.
Nandi will have to be very clinical against a disciplined Tailevu side in their Fair Brother clash this weekend. The Jet Setters defend the trophy for the first time on Saturday against Tailevu after beating Namosi over the weekend. Nandi captain Ratu Veremalua Vungakoto says Tailevu is a quality side and will present a different set of challenges from what they encountered against Namosi. Vungakoto believes discipline will be key for the full 80 minutes.
I think one of the main things is discipline, and we'll just keep working on our breakdowns, and that I think just a little some of the set piece moves where we lack off, so that's where we just need to work on.
Masinu football coach Tangi Wonolangi didn't hide his disappointment after a few of his senior players failed to turn up for their Vodafone Premier League match against Suva. Wonolangi believes this played a big part in their 5-0 thrashing at ANZ Stadium yesterday. The MIA players include Leon Ndamundamu, Joseph Mishra, Chone Naramba and Jasnet Vikas. Karaleni Tavi has more.
Masinu is fighting relegation from the top grade and needed a win to help it maintain its spot in the Premier Division.
Be given a very harsh penalty. So those who continue will continue the journey to the last game against Nabu. So I salute the boys who played today. Unfortunately, Suva has got so much depth in the team compared to us.
It is back to the drawing board for the Whites as they prepare to take on Rewa this week in a match that is more likely to decide the league title.
Playing Rewa, at home will be tough. I have to go back to the drawing board and see my coaching staff, what we come up with against Rewa. The win in the IDC that's left aside. This is another ball game. Will be tough for us because Rewa wants to win the league too.
Captain Felipe Mbara Vilala says finishing is still one area the team will need to iron out this week. Masinu will face Ba while Suva takes on Rewa in the next round of the Vodafone Premier League. Karleni Tavi, FBC Sports.
The Lautoka football side will still go out and try to finish the Vodafone Premier League on a high despite losing coach Ravinesh Kumar, who has stepped down from the position. Lautoka lost 2-0 to Lambasa on the weekend, and interim coach Agnes Prasad says their next opponent will not be easy either. Prasad says the final 2 rounds are important for them as a group.
Yeah, next move is that we are still on 13 points. Our next game is against Navua, which is very crucial. We will go back to the drawing board and see where we went wrong, and we need to pick up the game from what we have left here in Lambasa. And the only thing we can do against Navua is to win. This will be our ultimate goal.
Maliana Rusivakula knows getting into the final 12-member Fiji Pearl squad is easier said than done. So much so for the 22-year-old who is competing against her elder sister Afa for the goal shooter's position. Karlani Tavi with the details.
Maliana Rusivakula has again openly challenged her elder sister Afa for a spot in the Fijian Pearls team.
There's a lot of competition with most of the young players coming up right now, and it will be a tough competition getting into the national 25-member squad. Fighting for goal attack and goal shooter position. One of the competitors I have to face up is my elder sister, and my elder sister Afa.
Rusivakula says the key to handling pressure while on court is remaining calm.
Keep calm and encourage your teammates. Just train hard, fitness level, and enjoy the game.
After going down to the Digicel Flames 72-35, Punja's Thunderbirds captain Vaiti Wangatambu knows they will need to step up their game for the remaining 2 rounds.
The main areas we need to work on for our next game is just our fitness. I believe we had the skills, we had the experience, but then something that we lacked on was our fitness.
The Digicel Flames will take on the Digicel Lightning, while the Punja Stingrays meet the Punja's Thunderbirds this Saturday. Karleni Tavi, FBC Sports.
The last remaining unbeaten record of the English Premier League season has ended. This as leaders Everton crashed to a 2-0 defeat against an impressive Southampton this morning. That's it from Sports Tonight. In the world of the weird and wonderful, zookeepers turned to Facebook for help naming baby gorilla. Details after the break.
मैं दिल्ली में रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
And it's weather time now with Angie.
Good evening and welcome to the Weather World. Hope the weekend was superb. The weather was great to enjoy any outdoor events. The winds were great too. I bet great kite flying season. Anyways, coming to today, such a bright Monday, little humid too. Let's check out the other centers. In the west, it had beautiful weather going on, great scenery and lots to explore under fine conditions. Eastwards from Pekhabarasuva, the sun was a bit hidden by clouds, but still we managed to have a half day and then rain swung by. And up north, great is what I have to say. At sea, southeast winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas. Turning to the tides, low tide at 9:19 p.m. with high tide at 3:24 a.m. Sunrise will be at 5:29. For tomorrow, the day can expect a few showers, especially the Eastern Division. Otherwise, all centers will be fine and pretty much dry. Tomorrow's temps, Lambasa can expect a warm day at 32 degrees. Other centers will closely follow in the mid-range. And looking further on to Wednesday, we do have brief showers in the bag, so ensure to bring that umbrella if you have plans to visit town or the city. That's all from the Weather World. You have a good evening. It's back to Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fijian Pulse we asked, should we have fireworks this Diwali?
So because of COVID-19, we have had a lot of downtimes there. So I think it is reasonable to celebrate it with fireworks to give a little bit cheer up to all the people around it.
As we are facing global issue, one of the things which we are almost like every day advocating on and taking into consideration that we should not have fireworks in Diwali.
No, well, not with firecrackers because it's very expensive and times are hard.
Because due to COVID-19, there are people who are still suffering and there are job losses as well. So I don't think so. We should be having firecrackers. It's not a year for celebration, but a year for just peace and harmony. And
Recapping the main stories for tonight, government outlines COVID-19 priority. Police officers reminded about their duty. And trial of former diplomat starts in Suva Court. Now for these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM. Our poll question, last week we had asked, should curfew remain for the rest of the year? 70% said yes. And this week we're asking, should fireworks be allowed during Diwali? Visit our FBC website to answer. And on to our shot of the day. First one for a brand new week, and this is a shot of Yatule Resort. A beautiful day showing the surroundings of Nathandola. Be sure to send us your pictures to email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj, via Facebook page FBC News and our Twitter page at FBC_news. That's your news for tonight. Until tomorrow from the team and I, stay safe. Bye for now.
हमारे सामने नायक है गोंगो अलुगु लटोका रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।